Good afternoon, everybody. Um, as a follow-on from the weekend's video regarding the science behind the cravings, I just thought I'd do this follow-up, especially because of the amount of feedback I got saying, yeah, that's great and fascinating to understand why we get those cravings and why, despite our best intentions, we can't stop after a couple. And you're all excited and everything, but now you're saying, well, that's great, so how do we avoid those cravings? How do we avoid relapse? And potentially, how do we stop after a couple? And in our Inner Focus to Recover program, the 30-day online program where we help people on that, especially on the first 30 days on the journey to sobriety. Of course, I go through all of these things. But if we just go back to what we learned on Saturday regarding how the body works to regulate and keep us in homeostasis, and that battle where, yeah, we get that high from the endorphin, and then our body does its job and releases a heap of dynorphin to bring us back to that safe zone. Now you may remember the endorphin spike is because we're doing something that the brain deems pleasurable, and then it releases dopamine. And essentially over time we're teaching our body that alcohol or whatever the substance you use is our means to pleasure. So when we're chasing that dopamine high, we're looking for pleasure, but we're looking for it artificially. So the first thing we do, not the first thing we do, but the first thing we do regarding the cravings at a particular time of the day, for example, it's being very aware of when that time slot is in your case, and pattern interrupting what you do in that time. For example, if it's 5 p.m. after work is your danger zone, say up to 7-8 p.m, and then you're fine. So when you quit, obviously you really need to keep busy and avoid the environments, people, and all the other triggers that would set you off at that time. But we go a step further when, especially now that we understand the science, and if we're really chasing dopamine rather than that drink or that hit, well, why not pattern interrupt with something that will actually give you a natural dopamine hit? Now that could be exercise, healthy eating. There are actually dopamine inducing foods because of the tyrosine, but we'll go into that another day. So you could eat something that gives you that dopamine. Exercise certainly will. It also releases serotonin, so you'll be motivated to do more. Really, any activity or hobby or anything that you used to enjoy, start doing that, and ideally start doing it at the time of day that you would normally be imbibing, let's say. So yeah, so I just thought there was a lot of people asking about that, so just a quick follow-up. That's an example. Obviously in the course I go into it a lot more in detail, but yeah, keep asking and I'll keep bashing out these quick little tips to keep everyone on track. Cheers guys, see you in a couple of days.